Hello, everyone. I am Guillermo Varela from Magnet Europe. I'm here today with Carmelo Zapula. He's an architect and the founder and managing director of the Barcelona-based architecture studio External Reference, which develops international work at different scales, from product to urban design. And today he will show us how a small project at scale have allowed them to explore the latest computational and parametric tools for digital design and fabrication, using them as big research and innovation laboratories. Remember that in the last 15 minutes of this webinar, we will have some time for Q&A, so you can ask questions in the chat for Carmelo, and we will check them at the end. Also, I would like to mention that the webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel, where you can find more webinars and tutorials. I would like to thank Carmelo and the external reference team for accepting our invitation to present this webinar. And that's all from my side, so you can start with the presentation when you're ready, Carmelo.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry, but my voice is a little bit low. Okay, so we are External Reference Architects. It's a company that I founded in 2007, and that is working as it was said before, in the fields of architecture, urban design, and experience design in general, like interior design, exhibition design, etc. So this is our international scope. So we work from United States to Asia, MENA, and Europe, and we work in extensively in the urban design architecture. I will show you some of these projects, also in the world of retail, expo, exhibition, and hotel and residential corporate. So even the restaurants and art and collectible design. So I want to start this talk with this book that I rediscovered very recently. It's a book that I had in my bookshelf since many, many years, because it's a kind of manifesto, it's a document that was released in 1992, after the Vienna Architecture Conference at MAK, the Austrian Museum of Art, of Applied Art. So the participants were included renowned architects such as Zaha Hadid, Stephen Holl, Thom Mayne, Owen Moss, Carme Pinos, and Lebbeus Woods. And some of these architects expressed this sense of frustration over the limited scale of their projects and the marginalization of their role in comparison to commercial enterprises. However, despite these challenges, many of these architects went on to become very influential figures in the fields of architecture and very successful entrepreneurs. So they were, during this conference, they were discussing how critical was working with small projects. No, they were complaining about working on this small-scale project. But what is crucial to acknowledge is that the role that this architect was playing during that period of small-scale project, it was just during this time that they embarked on experiential design, creating the foundation of their future business success and their future experimental identity. And also, in addition, this project were also playing a significant role in the development of computational parametric architecture. So at External Reference, we recognize the importance of interior spaces, of small projects, private projects, that projects were once subject of frustration among architects like Wolf Prix at MAK. And I think that is very interesting, this sentence of about liquid modernity of Bauman, when he talk about these liquids, that have this density and And this is exactly explaining how these small projects, how these sometimes, small means big. And that's why the title of this conference. I think you can listen. So this is a project that we developed for the Spanish Pavilion in Expo Dubai 2020. And it's an example of how we were prioritizing the research and innovation, working on diverse range of projects, including exhibition design, museum, retail, hospitality. So we acknowledge that interior spaces emerge as a crucial laboratory for exploring cultural and environmental agendas in the contemporary condition. This is a project that was staying in 2 levels. The ground floor was a place in which we were talking about the heritage of Spain, while in the basement of the space, we are discovering the future of the country, its biodiversity, and that's why we designed an artificial landscape where even the digital contents are behaving in an analog way. So it's a space in which you can breathe. The future of the country is a forest of intelligence, in the sense that it's a smart artificial landscape with that was 3D printed with pure tech material that is able to catch CO2 and greenhouse gases. And at the same time, you have these photobioreactors that are generating oxygen. And it's a place that is creating an opportunity for discussing the future of sustainability in Spain, the research for different companies that are investing in sustainability, and in which we can talk about the flora, the fauna, the sustainable technologies, and as you can see, is a place in which you can even breathe this new air of innovation, and at the same time you can recognize the importance of Spain as a place in which you have among the most beautiful and natural places in the world. Here we are talking, for instance, about the renewable resources applied in places like La Isla del Hierro, which is a completely sustainable island in Las Canarias. And from here you can see the Tree of Balance, which is an installation that was awarded like the best installation of the whole Dubai Expo exhibition. Is a metaphor of our impact into the world. So according to our answer to these questionnaires, if the answer was positive, you have this feedback into the whole forest, and you have this tree that is growing green. If the answer is negative, then you will reach 0 degree, then the forest became red, and the main tree, the tree of balance, will start to lose its leaves. So as you can see here, it became reddish. So this is representing how our impact can be meaningful for the wellness of the planet. This is a project that was designed during COVID mainly, and this was making things even more complicated. But it was a very interesting collaboration with Onion Lab, among other, and it's a place that was conceived in a space completely 3D scanned. So we were having a 3D model of the actual space, and then we use this 3D model to model all the project, and all the fabrication was basically digital fabrication. So 3D printing, CNC milling, and laser cutting, fabrication. This is the Celeros, which is a space for discussing all the startups that are focusing to sustainability. And then we see a project that was anticipating the Spanish Pavilion, which is the meteorite, in which we were envisioning an installation that was taking inspiration from the Palasite, which is a meteorite that is made out of metal and glass. And it's an installation that is bringing oxygen into planet Earth. So through the use of cyanobacteria and microalgae, we are making a statement. We're building a manifesto of a techno garden that is able to generate much more oxygen compared to the regular plants. And this was a collaboration with Fratelli Perin, which was in charge of the metal construction, and Berengo was working on the glazing capsules that were. So there's also this integration between craftsmanship, digital fabrication, and parametric design at once. And the end of this exhibition was the collaboration with a Michelin star chef that was creating also on the right, as you can see there, a menu based on microalgae sponge and some tartars and creams. A project that was in turn like consequent to the Spanish Pavilion was the Pure Plants that was awarded like it got the first prize in the Rossana Arlandi Awards Raw Plastic. We did a project that was simulating the behavior of natural plants and cactus that are behaving like natural plants. So through computational tools like Grasshopper and Rhino, we were first studying the shape, the morphology of plants, and then we were recreating, redesigning these plants that were taking inspiration from nature. And we're having at the same time this behavior of catching CO2 and greenhouse gases using catalysis. And we also did a big version of these plants for the Milan Design Week last year. This was a collaboration with La Macchina, which they were 3D printing all the projects that you will see in this presentation. All the projects that are 3D printed have been fabricated by La Macchina, which is our 3D printing partner. So here you can see this dialogue between real nature and our designed, human design nature. And from here we go to the next Milan Design Week, which was happening just this year, a few weeks ago. It's an art installation that is taking inspiration from the light behavior of Barcelona. So we're taking data of Barcelona, taking this data through an helmet that was designed on purpose to take data in the city of Barcelona. We were collecting this data in the city, and then we were translating this data, informing the morphology of this artifact, of this art installation that then became a lamp. So at the same time, we were relating the data with the digital fabrication. In this case, is 3D printed in metal by another of our collaborator, which is Artisan Loving Robots. And we were printing stainless steel, and we were using the core of this lamp, which is this structure which Ferran Collado was blowing inside to create a lamp like the Venetian lamps, using this craftsmanship inside of this digitally fabricated installation. So again, tradition, technology, emotion, and data are the opposite of this art installation. So these are some pictures of the final result. This is the core in which we were blowing the glass inside. So this is another project. We are in Tonglor, in Bangkok, the city of Bangkok. And as you can see, it's a street where you have this typical building that are very narrow, and where you have this aesthetic of unfinished or overlapping of elements. And then we are in Asia, where we were taking inspiration from the local language of these cables, this layering. So we design a building that looks like unfinished, at the same time is very technological, and it's able to go deep to the inside of its content. And the brand is called presented 24 quilates, 24 carats. And it's a Spanish brand that moved to Bangkok a few years ago. And it's from outside, it's already revealing this character of luxury given by the intricacy of the typical robotic precision that you can find inside of a luxury watch or inside of a machine. For us, this was luxury. This was 24 carats, and is the landscape, this technological landscape in which you can discover the last releases from the main sneaker brands and streetwear. The streetwear is happening on the upper floors. So again, we are stripping the conventional covering, and we want the piping, the installation, the structure to pop up and becoming the core of our interiors. So that's why we have this piping that are becoming the supports for hanging the clothing or for exhibiting the products. So from here we go to one of our last projects that we opened a few months ago, which is CAAA. It's a project that was introducing AI in its conception. So we were taking, it's a restaurant that is about Transalpine food. So it's a food that is inspired from Alps, and so it's a local food. And we were taking inspiration from all the snow formations, like hills and mountains covered by snow, and we were start producing these images in AI. So for us, AI became a chance for visualizing concept and to translate our ideas into words that then are interpreted by the machine. In this dialogue, we found a certain creativity. So from these outputs, we started to create our own design, where these shapes, and these 3D formations are of course inspired by AI, but they became a completely separated approach at the same time. So we were trying to find a pattern that was able to at the same time justify the concept and being something buildable, and like in this case, that can be able to be 3D printed. So immediately we were considering having these panels and these seams from which their conditioning was passing through. And at the end, this is the final configuration, and this is the built project. So here we have, with basically just few interventions, the ceiling, this lamp that is embedded into the wall, which is creating the light atmospheres of a sunset, of a sunrise. So it's an RGB lamp that is contaminating with colors and with this warm effect all the interiors. All the furniture were designed and built by us as well. We are using cellulose, so it's a kind of 3D printed wood material that is using the fibers of wood, the cellulose of wood, and is a view toward the kitchen. These are the phases of installing all the different elements. Here you can see 5 millimeters gap from which the air is passing through, and is all the structure that was created for supporting, hanging all the panels. So now we go to another project that this time is in Rome. So we were in Lucerne in Switzerland, now we are in Italy. And it's for a brand that is called Pinco. It's a quite famous brand. They are selling, as you can see, clothing. And again, it was 3D printed with a material that this time is PIPG, which is then it was coated, so we were able to achieve one of the most restrictive characteristics for the airports because it's a fire-resistant material. So again, we were collaborating with La Macchina. Here you see how we were creating a mold in which the machine was 3D printing on top. So we were using this support to creating these curved surfaces. So it's a lattice that is also curved. So here you can see the texture and with the coating. And there's a double layering, which we are also embedding some full glass spheres that are used as a lamp to introduce a dynamic layer into the space. So as you can see, it's a complex layer, but at the same time is creating a sort of neutral background that is elevating the product. On the top, we have this kind of magic lamp, which is an hanged infinity mirror that is using LED contents that are amplifying the perception on the top of the store. And then we have the two birds that are appearing into the logo, became like three-dimensional elements that are supporting the glass for the exhibition. There's a view from outside to the inside, and these are some few details and close-up of the store. We finalize the trilogy of these very last projects with La Manso, which is a very tiny store, but very successfully. We'll find it published everywhere. And it's a jewel store from a local designer, but a very famous one. Adriana Lamanso is a fashion designer. She's doing accessories. She's designing this plastic morphology inspired by nature. They have a very strong personality, very colorful, and that are used by the VIP singers and artists in Spain. So we are in a modernist building in Barcelona. Modernism in Spain is this architecture from which, Gaudí was the main character, the main representative of modernism, where you have this kind of floral, organic, and inspired by nature morphologies. And we were taking advantage from these elements. We took fragment from here and we push it inside of the space. Of course, we then make an interpretation with this fluid, almost melted and distorted ornament. So at the end, it's like that we are taking a fragment from the past. And the glitches of this contemporary intervention are becoming the shelves in which we are showcasing the product. So this is the final result of this project. And then I go to the second presentation. It was too heavy to have both in the same file. I don't know if in the meantime you want to have some questions.
Yeah, there are no questions in the chat right now, but I would like to remember everyone that they can use the chat in Zoom to ask any questions if they have.
Sorry?
No, just to say that to everyone watching the webinar that they can ask questions in the chat, but there are any for now.
Okay.
So you can continue if you want.
Sure. So, guys, I'm really sorry, but I'm doing a very big effort to talk. Okay, so we are in Doha. It's a project in which we were visiting the dunes and the desert in Doha, and we realized how beautiful all these formations were, and we said, okay, what if our project is a place that is the result of our imagination? When we close our eyes and we imagine ourselves in a space that is immersed by colors and this feeling of being inside of a kind of cave or a canyon. No? So we are in Qatar, in the design district. This is presented by, is again another store of streetwear. And what is interesting of this project is that, again, we were working remotely. We received, it was during COVID, we received 3D scanning of the space. We did all the design remotely using that model. We built everything from here. We shipped everything there. In 15 days, it was all built and settled for the opening. And it's a project that is at the intersection between digital design, physical computation, material research, and an artistic approach. So, of course, projects like this can be possible thanks to some special clients. And for presented by, we are designing basically all their stores, from the first one in London, the one in Dubai, Riyadh, Doha, Paris, Manchester. The experience is starting from outside. So when you're from outside, you will see these digital virtual shop windows where we are creating these effects of sand. So we're creating this illusion that the space is like a box full of sand. The entrance is happening on the left, and we're taking advantage of the distance that we are creating from the second self-supporting skin from the real walls that are used as a storage and technical room. Then we have, of course, the changing room, technical room, experience room. In the section, you see that it's almost 50%, especially at the beginning of the project, and it became a little bit less, was dedicated to the digital contents that are happening on the top. So they're not distracting, but they're creating a very dynamic and appealing effect. All the space, so we have this projection on the upper part of the space with these patterns that were, again, inspired by rock formations and sandy formations. This is the central part of the space where you have the counter and the main light. So the digital layer is a layer that is perfectly integrated into the architecture, and is a layer that is helping to discover the space that is taking you into this experiential journey. Then we have this surface mapping, where these patterns then became the latest releases, no, like these eases. Then we have the holographic installation, where we have combination of light and holograms together. And it's a plan that is showing all the projectors that were taking place in this space, which are more than 20. The construction phase is happening through these pillars, columns, in which we are fitting the different layers, which are not perfectly parallel because they are creating these waves. So it's a very thin and flexible layer that is adapting and adapted into the space. Here you can also appreciate the dimension and the height of the store. The lighting is illuminating the shoes one by one. Then we have this central lamp. And here I want to recap 3 main challenges. First one was designing and construction and building and constructing during COVID. So it was all remote, production, shipping, etc. Generating a digital content that could be monitored and changed remotely, and created an iconic destination that became the marketing tool for the brand. So we are in the same, let's say, area, but in another country. We have also the same conditions, no? But this time, the approach is the same, but we were like walking into the desert, and we realized how water was a very important element. So we thought, why this time, instead of working by similarities, why don't we work thinking about something that is the exception, something that is very well deserved? So we thought about paying homage, paying tribute to water in all its form. And the user experience is just based on this experience with water and through water to the product. So we will have a real physical water. We will have digital water. We have the metaphorical, physical, freezed water. And then we have the underwater. So the physical water is starting from the entrance. You have kind of curtain, this stopping when you pass through. Then we have an installation that is creating different shapes with real water that is introducing freshness, and it's also introducing the sound of water inside of the space. So of course the kind of images or sculpture that you can have with water, it depends on the resolution of the machine. The machine that we also built in Barcelona The metaphorical water is the result of this simulation of water along the products. So the same we're trying to replicate the same morphology that were happening when water is flowing along a waterfall between stones. So we're doing the same, creating this surface that was creating this pocket between the walls and the 3D printed surfaces. Then we split it into strips, because at the time we were having a limitation with the dimension of the strips. And this joint, we're opening the opportunity for introducing also lighting in between, that is playing this effect of light in vertical, like rain or water. The production process was through La Machine again, using a PLA and PureTech. Then we go to the digital layer again. So we have these kind of purling noise that are reminding us the patterns of water that are moving and reacting to the people in a very subtle way. We don't want the people to be distracted by the digital layer, but at the same time, we want to wow the customer and making him the protagonist of this experience. The digital water is also taking the digital layers, digital screens on the back, where we have this waterfall. And finally, we go under the water in the VIP room, which takes place at the end of the space. So at the end of this corridor, we get into the sensation of being under these waves. So, go to the last projects, which is taking place in Barcelona. So we are in La Barceloneta, this, what you can see here is the very end of La Barceloneta, in which you have the W Hotel. And what we did was basically the project of this waterfront, which is connecting the plaza of the back of the hotel with the main path. So the challenge was basically to connect. We already have this cul-de-sac, this seawall that is blocking the view, and we have also the disconnection from the plaza. As you can see here, there was like a handrail and another level on the other side, and it was the end without any facade, without any conclusion. So our project was creating this connection, at the same time was creating this facade on this other side. And this is the result. So we are creating this nice waterfront from which you can have this unprecedented view, on which you have the view of the city from the sea. So this is the new facade that we created into this Barcelona seafront. We were taking inspiration basically from two elements. From one side, the cliffside ecosystem in the Catalan coast, where we have these rocks with the presence of green, of very local species, and the morphologies of salt crystals. So we were using the existing wall as a structure, support. Again, we did a 3D scanning of the space, and we built a prefab structure that was connected to the main wall. And we also took advantage from the existing wall to create a viewpoint balcony of the Mediterranean Sea. As you can see, everything was prefabbed, and then you just add the last layer with the steps. This is how the project was built. So there's a completely faithful to the initial project. And of course, the shape is the result of this negotiation between a concept, between a context, between the dimension and the limitation of this paneling. Because over this prefab structure, there's a metal structure on top of which the concrete panels are fixed together. So this is the panel division. We have bioreceptive panels that are this darkest shadow here. And these are the optimization of the panels topologies and topology. So the bioreceptive panels are considering the introduction of greenery and light. So the yellow is the light and the green is the greenery. And we also have a pattern that is helping the greenery to grow. And is just during the assembling, so the green was very, very young. We're reaching the dimension of almost 5 meters. And these are the species that we are proposing, which are native plants, which don't require any maintenance. So we are collecting the water, feeding the plants, and the light is a true fiber optic lighting system. So we are reducing the expense of light and by using this kind of very cost-efficient technology. So here you can see how we can match both paneling, some views of the construction phase, assembling and mounting these panels, considering the size, was quite a challenge. Some views from during the night. And this is a video. Thank you.
Thank you, Carme. Was that the last one? I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Really nice to see all the projects. And thank you for the effort with your voice, because it's quite hard, it seems. I think you have seen the questions in the chat, and Sebastian has been answering. So thank you to Sebastian. There was a question about if you use Beam also, not only Rhino and Grasshopper. And Sebastian answered that depending on the project, for larger projects, you use more the Beam tools. But for those with digital fabrication, you don't need it, and you just create the 3D model in Rhino and then pass it to.
Well, with the
yeah.
With the staircase and the waterfront, we use BIM.
Yeah. That was something saying. Yes, BIM, and Rhino side. Yeah. The other question was about the light animations. Susan was asking how do you integrate it in the architectural workflow, and how do you what software do you use to visualize this for the client? How do you present this light animation to the client?
No, we presented separated, but to integrate all the systems together into the architecture, as I wrote, we're using Crestron.
That allows you to see the LEDs in the 3D model, or how does it work?
Sorry?
How does it work, Creston? I don't know.
It's a system that is integrating audio visuals, LED, okay. Lighting, everything together.
Okay, thank you. And the other one was about the fabrication of all the interiors 3D printed. And Sebastian said that it's the collaboration with La Máquina that you create a lot of iteration, prototyping, and testing of the designs. And yeah, the G code is developed by them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are some other questions. Yeah, Andres is asking what are the software limitations in designing form and concept, and in which area can it be adjusted to bend algorithm structures and its extend signature style? Do I understand? Yeah.
Yeah. At the end, you use the tools and you try to push the limits of the tools, but at the end, it's not a question of how bending the algorithm structure is about thinking about the project, thinking about the concept, and trying to find the best way to create that concept and to build it. The signature style, as you can see in our project, is I mean, we always try to innovate and to push the boundaries of experimentation, but always finding new languages. So we are not trying to impose our language, our just one style, but we have different paths of research, and for us are all interesting. So we're not looking for a style, we're looking for to build the project as a laboratory for innovation.
Yeah, it was great to see in the restaurant how you used the AI concept and then you transform it to a 3D model with Grasshopper. But yeah, the concept was created in a different way.
So basically, basically we used Grasshopper as AI. We use AI for like a sketch, no, to visualize some concept, to visualize some ideas. But then the product was completely done in Grasshopper, and the two processes are disconnected. In some other cases, we're trying to combine or to translate directly with Grasshopper. But in that case, there's no direct implication. I mean, we are, as designer, we're in between the two things.
Yeah, thank you. I was checking the last comments, and well, most of them are thanking you for the presentations, like beautiful designs, beautiful presentation. Marcus is asking for the recording of the webinar, and we'll upload it to YouTube probably tomorrow, and I will send you an email with the link tweet, so you can watch it again. He's saying he's want to watch it again because it was really interesting. Checking the last comment. I'm not sure what you mean, Jai. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can read the last comment and have an idea of what to answer about the delicacy
Well,
for
I don't understand the delicacy part. In any case, this is the concept of the whole talk. No, I think that small projects sometimes are the best project for experimentation. So we use these small projects as a laboratory for making bigger projects. That's why we started with very small projects. We end up with a project is bigger, you know, which is taking the urban scale. And to say that we had to wait a lot till getting this kind of commission. So the advice is insist, believe in what you're doing, and if you believe and you have consistency, someday you will achieve your dreams as an architect.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's right. So, well, I think that's all. Thank you so much again, Carmelo and Sebastian, and all the external reference team. It's been great to have you here. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Carmelo. If not,
No,
we
thank
can close the webinar. And
you. Thank you. Bye bye.
yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a nice afternoon.